So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can you both see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. I want to make sure I have the slideshow set up correctly. And I do not. So, welcome to your Enlightenment using Oracle cards. As I said, this class is being recorded, and I appreciate you leaving your cameras on, but I understand if you don't. So our agenda today is me sharing a little bit about my journey with enlightenment using the Oracle cards. I'll share some techniques about setting up and clearing history, numbers, and colors, some techniques with layouts, and we'll practice readings. So first, before we get into preparation, I want to, let me just move this. I want to share a little bit about, well, let's stop the share. I want to share a little bit about my journey. So I had this forest background because I love the forest and I love flowers. I've been intuitive since I was about 8 or 9. My great-grandma Nora had passed away, and I was devastated because she was like my best friend. And she came to me in my closet, and she was not in her wheelchair. And she told me that she would always be with me, and that she's the one that gave me my gift of intuitive. And she used to whisper in my ear all the time. And she showed me magical little friends that I could play with. And when I would tell my parents and others about my friends, they would tell me I was crazy. And in fact, when I was a teenager, my parents tried to have me committed because I would tell them things. And the doctor wouldn't commit me, thank goodness. But I just knew things, and it was because I was so intuitive. So I've had my intuitive skills the majority of my life, and it's all because of my great-grandma Nora. And when I was married to my first husband, our friends would ask us to get together to play cards. And my husband at the time, he learned very quickly not to take me to play cards because I started reading the playing cards. They started speaking to me. And so I started saying things, and people would be like, "What are you talking about?" So I was reading regular playing cards because the cards are just a vehicle. They're just a connection. And it doesn't matter what they are. I mean, you could pick up a stick in the yard and read that stick because it's just a connection. So, or a leaf or a flower, it's a connection to the divine. It's a connection to your inner soul, your goddess. So it doesn't matter what you're reading. So that's why I feel this class is so important, is for you to understand how you can connect, how you can open up to your enlightenment. So that's just a little bit about my journey. And through that journey, I chose not to read the tarot cards because the tarot cards, the majority of them on the market today, have kind of a negative connotation to them. People see them as dark, even though they're not. I have one deck that I really do like, the Akashi Tarot, and I have a better picture of them in the presentation. But in my research on cards, the original tarot cards were not dark cards. They were actually very light, and some of them were even black and white that you could color in your own colors. So, I mean, it's what we have made the tarot. It's how we interpret the cards. So every artist, every author of the cards puts their own spin on the cards. And so when you're connecting with the cards, it's how you're interpreting the cards. Remember that when you're bringing in the divine energy through your heart from the source, from the divine, from your angels, it's also passing through you, a human. So you have to be very centered to bring out the purest form of divinity. For your reading, it's really important to remember. So let's go back to the presentation, and I'll share my screen. So that's just a little about my journey. So how do we prepare? One way I like to prepare is with prayer. And this is a prayer that came to me after one of my classes with my students of the 4-month Heart of Mind Intuition course. And I'm just going to open our class today with it. We come together to acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, courage, to know the truth revealed for our highest good and for everyone connected to us. O Holy Spirit of God, protect us from self-centeredness and direct our attention to your work hand. Please show us the light of wisdom. Allow us to see through your eyes of the Lords of the divine heaven and above. Enable us to share this wisdom and compassion learned from spirit guides, angels, masters, teachers, and taught by our loved ones. As we travel our spiritual paths, let us enlighten the ways of many souls on their journeys as they struggle to find their purpose and enlightenment. When these souls look to you, they will see the light, and their opportunities will be revealed, just like the king's treasures were revealed to him. Always remember, look forward to the sun and go forward in this direction. Amen. As I said before, you are the person, the divine. You're connected to the divine. You are the oracle. You are the seer. As Jesus said in the Bible, for where 2 or 3 are gathered today in my name, I am there among them. Matthew 18:20. And that's so true. When we read, when we gather, God, Jesus, our spirit team, our angels are there. When we ask, they are there. When we consult the cards, they are there. I consider my cards my friends. I don't consider them a piece of paper. They're my friends. Because when I consult my cards, my whole spirit team, my angels, they all come to me to guide me. So how do I set up for a reading? Like right now, I don't know if you can see it or not. I have my diffuser going with my essential oils. Before I started, I saged my quartz crystal. I have my, what do I do with it? Oh, if I'm doing a reading, I have this lovely cloth that I lay out. Then, of course, I have my cards. And when I do my cards, and Cheyenne knows this, she's seen me do many readings, I always knock on them, or I'll just knock them on a hard surface. And you can knock them 3 times, or I will just knock each edge on a hard surface because the sound vibrates through your cards and that will clear your cards. You can have, like I do, crystals in your environment to help purify and draw in your sacred energies. I always do a meditation before any of my classes. I also do a prayer and a meditation for the reading, just like we did. You can have candles. I tend to diffuse essential oils. You can place a clear quartz on top of your cards to cleanse them afterwards. And before you do your reading, when you're doing you hold your cards like this when you say your prayer and ask that they reveal the highest good for the person and that the person and you are protected and loved. And then shuffle your cards and ask the question. So the history of oracle cards are amazing. They go back further than the 1300s. They go back into Egypt. The ancient walls are covered with messages and symbols. They probably go back even further than that. But I want you to take a moment and I want you to just get a little centered because the next slide I show you, I want you to really concentrate on it. And I want you afterwards to tell me what you see and felt. So tell me when you're ready and then I'll change to it. Are you ready, Cheyenne? What do you feel? You can go off mute.
At first I felt like tense.
Say that again. I didn't quite hear you.
At first when it started playing, I was feeling tense, like going through it and not sure like what was going to come on the other side, like that dark shadow behind, until we got up closer, and then I saw like the smiling faces and the different things on the wall, and more inviting once you're closer.
Yeah.
I felt strength and power, like it just was like coming at you.
Close to him. So yes.
Yeah, I got like the chills, and I was just like, you felt that brute strength, like if someone's trying to get someone's attention, like you felt that, wow, like whoa. And then you felt the lights soften it.
Yeah.
What about the symbols? Did you get anything?
You feel the ancient history with them, like they resonate different than if you just showed us a picture of a field or something.
Right.
Like there's a lot of power embedded in them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there is. Go to the next one. Whoops. I like this because it gives you the pyramids in the background and the overall view, but then it also shows someone doing a reading.
Mm.
And I think that's pretty powerful too. And it brings us back to their world. And I get chills when I see these pictures.
Yeah, I'm drawn to like, you want to just look, like I feel like I just want to go put my hands on that slate. That's weird.
Yeah, I want to feel it.
Yeah.
I want to touch it. I want to know what it's saying to me.
Mm.
And
especially since I sculpt, I'm more tactile that way.
Yep. And I think it would probably say different things for each one of us.
Mm.
Now, this card on my left is one of the oldest known. And as you can see, it has 2 coins in it. And it dates back to 1390 to 1410. So it's like one of the first tarot cards.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty incredible. I wanted to show it to you. And then the card deck next to it is playing cards. But look how it resembles the tarot cards.
Yeah.
And that's from the 15th century.
And to see their style in the kings and queens and jacks, like it fits with the era that they were created in.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by, we've incorporated our thoughts in developing the tarot cards. And these are fortune telling cards. These are actually oracle cards from the 1772. Well, she was born in 1772. Don't know the exact date of these. This lady was actually imprisoned a couple times for her psychic beliefs. She also told fortunes with sticks, with wheels. She was amazing. She was very well known. And she was just very gifted. But look, notice she has playing cards in the corners.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I find it's interesting is I didn't realize or remember that they had motorcycles back that old.
I didn't either.
I was like wait a minute, that doesn't look quite right. I didn't realize they had motor. When did the first vehicle come out?
I didn't either. I don't. I thought the vehicles came out in 1900s.
Well, that's what I thought, but that's like a Harley, looks like, or a bike, like a motorized. That's a motorcycle.
I believe she was from Germany. I believe. I'd had to look back at my notes. Now, this is astrology numerology.
Says 1885 was the first motorcycle, and it looks nothing like her picture in her motorcycle. The first motorcycle was in 1901. So you think she was intuitive and saw the future? I mean, that looks so like realistic and futuristic compared to the date of her life. Doesn't match up, I guess.
Yeah, it could be. Let me go back to the chart. Well, she died in 1843.
Yeah, but the quadris, it says first motorcycle in 1901, but there was a style made in 1885, so it still was after her time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, the style does not look like that. That looks like a recent one. Are you sure she's the designer of those cards, or did someone take her style and make
Where
it
was
for
it
like the
made?
70s?
Does it say?
Germany.
Okay.
But it doesn't look, I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't look anywhere near the style she has on there.
No, it doesn't. Huh.
Like, that looks more like the 70s. So that just makes me wonder if those cards were just made off, like to model hers.
It could be. I'll have to go back to my notes and look. It could be a knockoff.
Yeah. Because even the lady with the underwear on looks more of the same era as those top ones.
Right. So this is astrology numerology. And we tend to think Saturn is a bad planet when it's really not a bad planet, because Saturn will move us forward. And that's something to keep in mind. And Jupiter is known as the money planet too. So it's also the expansion. And Mercury, of course, we all know is the Mercury retrograde, is diverse. I don't always see Mercury as being quick. I tend to get stalled in Mercury retrogrades. And this is Kyle Gray. This is from his Angel Numbers book. And you can get the Kindle version of this on Amazon. I have both, and I tend to use the Kindle version more than I do the actual version because it's quicker to just look up a number on the Kindle version. And if you need me to look up any numbers, I can. Do you have any numbers that appears more frequently for you?
For me, it's 323, like my birthday. Like
It's what?
323.
Okay, let me go look that up for you just a minute. 323. Almost there.
That's right. I did find that her original, that those are knockoffs, because her originals definitely, they do have the playing deck cards on them, but they're way older style. Like,
Oh, you found them? Good.
mhm.
Thank you.
You should email them to Sandy.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. You said 323.
Mhm.
There it is. Let me share this. Stop share. So it's ascended masters are with you to remove all blockages and challenges on your pathway so that you can live fearlessly.
Hmm.
That's pretty magical. Do you see that often?
I do, yeah. Mhm.
Diane, did you want me to look up a number for you?
Well, it was on the screen you're sharing. I've been seeing more repetition of 7s and 11s.
Just the number 7 and 11? Okay.
Yeah. Like repetitively, like you know,
Okay. Let me
like
give you my
11, 11, 7, 7 kind of thing.
Here's my email address, Megan. Thank you for finding that for me. Let's see. Let's go back here. And these are colors and meanings. So the blacks are 2 different blacks. The bottom one is more of a grayish black. I was going to color code these, but I couldn't find the right color of black, so I decided not to color code them. The pink is more of a burgundy than a pink. So, and when I look at cards, the cards usually, I can usually feel the meaning. Though you can use, it'll usually speak to you. And the more you do your cards, the more they'll speak to you. That's why it's so important to, like, I have my favorite decks, and the more you use your cards, the more the energy is there for you. So it's important to get used to your decks, and they become more connected to you. And so that's why in like violet and purple, I would have just put spiritual or divine, but these are the actual definitions. So that's why I went ahead and used these definitions because I want you to have what they say the definitions are. Did I go backwards? Okay. So these are some of my favorite decks. I have so many decks, but these are the ones that I tend to gravitate to. Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light. That's not a very good picture of it. And her Rose Oracle deck. I love those two decks. The Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reid is another really
Yeah.
good deck.
That's this one.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what you sent me. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that deck.
Yeah.
In the Casted Tarot deck, that's the one I was showing you earlier. I'm really into Akashic Records. And this deck is a very good deck. And that's by Sharon Ann Kundler and Sandra Ann Taylor. Sandra Ann Taylor also has some good books on Akashic Records. And then Kyle Gray, I think I have all his Oracle decks, but the ones I tend to gravitate to is the Angel or the Gateway. Move this. The Gateway of Light Activation Oracle. That is such a powerful deck. The deck that I read from most of the time, this one, has almost as much power in it as this deck. So, and then the Gateway of Light, the Angel's Guides. The Angel Guide deck has all the angels in it. So if you really want a connection with angels, it's the Angel Guide Oracle deck. So, and then I found this deck when I was researching, and I really like this deck because it's so simple. It would be easy for a beginner to use because it's based on herbs and flowers, vegetables. It's from the Philippines, and it just has one word, usually just one word. And it would be easy for somebody to just pick this deck up and read from it. And a lot of people can relate to flowers and herbs. And so I think that this would be a good deck for a beginner to read from. So I've never used this deck. This is from the deck that I use the most often, The Beauty of the Spirit. They're designed by Sherry H. She's an amazing, divine, spiritual Christian artist. And she does the majority of her own photography and writes her own verses.
What was her name again, Sandy?
Sherry H. And she's attended some classes and talked about how she designs her cards.
What's her last name again?
I don't give out her last name because she's on disability.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
If people want her cards, they buy them through me.
Okay.
Because otherwise it would affect her disability payments.
Oh, okay.
And I actually helped her design this deck.
Okay, cool.
So, but it's a very very powerful deck. I love her decks. She's got 3 decks. She's got a tarot deck and she has another deck. But her decks have so much energy. You can feel the energy of her decks before you even open them.
Awesome.
And I really think it's because of her connection with Jesus. You know, she just has a direct connection. And this is the 3-card spread that I most frequently use. And I'll start with this spread, and then it'll lead to other spreads. And sometimes it'll lead to a 5-card spread or even a 7-card spread. But I will usually start with this spread. And your 3-card spreads can be past, present, and future. It can be what's going on now. What do I need to know more about what's going on? Tell me more about why that's going on. So you can phrase your questions differently if you're wanting to know about what's going on. You can use a simple spread and go deeper. You can take a spread and lay out 7 days of the week. You can lay out 12 months of the year. And one thing I'd like to teach my students is pull a card and journal about it. And it's amazing what you learn.
Yeah, it's a huge shift in your journaling for sure.
Yeah. Do you want to speak about that, Cheyenne?
Well, I've been doing it for a while. I'm actually going almost to my next journal. Mine's full. But yeah, it definitely can help understand. And what amazes me is how sometimes your ego tries to step in, but then when you use the card, the reality of what's going on in your mind is expressed in the card and how to deal with it. Like what's truly happening versus your ego trying to railroad you to another way. Looks like you froze, Sandy. Oh, that's what I thought.
Which deck do you use again, Cheyenne?
I use the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed. Can you see those? I don't know if I didn't pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Enchanted Map.
Yeah. They're really pretty. Like, yeah. Can you see it? Or do I need to turn my background up? I can't hear you. Your mute's back on.
Oh, yes. Oh, is that a butterfly on that one?
Yeah.
What's that card say?
Metamorphosis, number 25. So then it comes with the book. So like if you were to look that up, now I didn't bless those cards, so I wouldn't use that as a reading, but so then it comes with a little book, and for 25 it says Metamorphosis. You are in the process of deep and beautiful change. And then it tells you if it's upright or if it's reverse. So like this one, upright, says butterflies earn their wings through great effort. The process of change is often painful, for it is never without losses and sacrifices. If you are to transform from one form to another, a part of you needs to die. Letting go isn't easy, especially when you're used to thinking a certain way about your life and how you live it. Just as a snake sheds its dead skin, or a caterpillar dies so the butterfly can be born, you're required to release old ideas and embrace a necessary change so you can live your best life. Perhaps you're being asked to let go of low self-worth a dream that no longer serves you, a relationship that is draining, or unhealthy habits. Despite your fear, you must accept that this is a transformational time for you. There will be loss involved, but you'll love what you become. And so when I've done this and I've hit different cards, and it's so powerful. And so one of the exercises she had us do from the class is actually do our vision board using cards. And wow, it was powerful. Like it was like it, I can see if I can pull it up here quick. Hopefully she's able to get back on shortly. So I would pull out anywhere from 2 to 3 cards, depending on what I was basically inspired to draw, or if they fell out of the deck. So like one time on one part, 2 fell out of the deck, and so I didn't draw another. I used what come out of the deck.
So you're creating a vision board based off of so explain how you do that, I guess.
Yeah. So I would ask questions. So like one of them was, show me a message to help find for good health or radiance. And then the 3 cards that came out were Ghostlands, Wishing Well, and Rescue. And then you read through the book, and is it showing my screen?
Oh, yeah.
So in that message, it says, now is the most powerful place to put your intent. It's magic reaching out in every direction, further than the heart and the soul can see. And so it says embody good health and radiance. So this one in the corner where it says, I trust in the spirit, I'm actively enjoying my healthy lifestyle. Or like when I was praying, like asking about wealth, then let's find that one. Yeah, that was flying. If you have the power to see things from a higher perspective, and then magic stream, everything is connected through visual flow of consciousness, your success will benefit many. And so then what came to me when I was doing that was this word, my abundance of success will benefit many. And about being a leader, but not, so birds flow and flock together. That's how that came. And so then when I was designing it on Canva, I just looked through and found pictures that resonated with the messages coming from the cards.
Love it.
Welcome back, Sandy. Oops. There you go. I'll give you back your computer. You're on mute, Sandy.
You were doing an excellent job. Isn't her vision board powerful?
Yeah.
Cheyenne is a graduate of the 4-month program. Yeah. Did amazing.
And then when I went through graduation to explain it, like I was in tears because it brought up so much emotion from, things that I've gone on. And yeah, it's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Wow. Let me try to get my PowerPoint back up here. Ghost. I lost you both.
How that conversation started is she had asked about what oracle cards I use. So then I read her a message, and then I told her how you instructed us or guided us to use them for your vision board.
Right. And Cheyenne also uses them with her journal. So
yeah,
she does an amazing job. So Megan, how do you use your oracle cards?
I haven't been using oracle cards recently, or typically I listen to podcasts where someone else is pulling the cards and I listen to the message. And I have some decks. I just haven't really, it's like the next step of my journey. Like I do meditations and stuff like that. And I've pulled like cards. I just haven't actually done like readings per se. I'll just bring them in when I do like group settings. Yeah, I think it's more about trusting, like getting centered and trusting myself.
Yeah, it is.
I had a lot of work through that too, like listening to the higher self and listening to your intuition.
Yeah.
Right, Sandy? It took me a moment to like just listen to the message and be able to sort out what's ego talking to you and what's the true message.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And it takes a while to work through that because you're bonding with a card and you get to know that card. It's like developing a new friendship with a person. So you're getting to know the cards and developing that energy and that connection. And it takes time, just like any new relationship. And until you sit and have coffee or tea with that person or that card for a while, it doesn't come naturally. And so you just have to sit down and do it. But that's what we do together. And when we do it together, then it starts to.
Usually her connection is a lot more stable. I'm not sure what she is. Well, I know the remodeling.
You start to see the different, yeah. And when you start to see those differences, and sometimes it's really small, then you start doing it more often. And then you start you'll say to someone, well, let me pull a card for you. And that's when it starts to spread for you. Because that's what happens for me. And I'll get people that'll say, could you pull a card for me? Because I can't seem to figure this out myself. Or like my brother, who's very intuitive as well, he called me once and said, I just can't figure out what to do. And so I pulled the cards and I told him, you have the money to do this. The cards are saying, go ahead and do this. And he decided not to do this. Well, it's a good thing he didn't do that because a few days later, a tree fell on his roof. So it's okay. And at that moment, because remember, when you're playing cards, you're doing it for that moment in time. And anything can change. That person can change. You can change. Because you're doing it for that moment in time. And, like he could have taken money out and bought something and changed that decision, that outcome, unbeknownst to me. But he wanted to expand his patio. Yes, he had the money. Yes, the guys in the spirit team, mine and his, didn't see a problem with that. That's what we were asking. Should he expand his patio? We weren't asking anything else. We didn't ask, is it the best for his overall situation? Always ask, is it the best for the overall situation? Be very clear in your intentions. Intentions are key, because a few days later, here comes the tree on his house, and that money in the bank went to fix his road. And when I took my, Cheyenne says, when I took my crystal certification course, I didn't have all the crystals to do the grid graduation. So I took this dollar bill, set it down, okay, clear crystal as my pointer, and I put my crystals around it. What did I just teach you?
Have a clear intent.
Yes.
What did I not do?
Have a clear intent.
I was in a hurry, so I set my crystals around that dollar bill. And a few weeks later, my husband announced a total home remodel project. Out went all of my money, for $100,000. What did I set those crystals on? A dollar bill. Was it for our better, it's for our better good. It's everything that needs done. Did we need to do it right now? No. Could have waited? Yes. Did we need to spend that money now? No.
Would have been cheaper to buy the crystal that you needed.
Right. And set the clear intent.
Always set a clear intention. If anybody knows that, I do. Oh my goodness. So, if anybody knows better, I know better.
But that's why you teach it, because you know better. It's kind of like the cobbler's kids has no shoes. It always kind of ends up that way, doesn't it, Sandy?
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Okay, let me share my screen where I left off. So, some ideas for creating enlightenment with Oracle card is creating an ancestor altar. These are so powerful. If you have an ancestor that you feel needs healing, that could be affecting your energy. You can cut those cords. By creating an altar. Put their picture on the altar. Give them water. Find some sticks. Put herbs or flowers on the altar. Stones, crystals. Like if I was creating one for my Grandpa Reasoner, I would find a cigar and put on that altar. If I was creating one for my great grandma Nora, I would put a piece of yarn that she used for tatting on the altar. So you want to make it as personal as possible. Create a feeling journal. So this, we kind of discussed a little bit about this. So write down, how do I feel about, so whatever you're wanting to know. So how am I feeling today? Or if it's a situation you're trying to get information about, how am I feeling about this job? Or how am I feeling about the relationship with X or whoever it is? Or how am I feeling about purchasing whatever? And then pull a card. And before you pull, I should have written this backwards. Before you pull the card, ask the same question and hold the cards to your chest and then pull a card. And then write down what the card reveals and what you feel the card is saying to you. And then compare both of them and write down what you feel they're saying to you, what you felt and what the card's saying. What is the summary of both together? Connecting with your inner goddess. And pretty much the same way, but just connecting. Just breathe in and just say, I'm here. I'm listening. How am I feeling right now? What do you want to tell me? What do I need to know? And then you can pull your card and journal the responses. Remember, your cards are your friends. They're your gateway to the divine, to the angels, and to your inner guidance, your goddess. And I love this photo because it truly is. You truly are goddesses. You are the oracle. In the ancient times, the person was the oracle. You are the oracle. Each of you are the oracle. The cards are just the instrument. You already have the gift. So let's take those cards out. Megan, where's your cards?
I'll be back.
You just want us to pull one card?
It's up to you, whatever feels right.
I pulled number 33, Peaks of Joy, and number 8, Come Together.
Ooh, I love that. Wait for Megan to come back.
I'm back.
Easy. What's the name of your deck, Megan?
This is called Dragon Path Oracle
Oh, nice.
by Caroline Mitchell. I believe it came in like a spiritual subscription box or something. I haven't used it yet, but I did put dragon essential oil on before I went for my walk this morning, so I guess it's a sign.
Okay. I have a little dragon that hangs around me.
Oh, really?
He's always present during my presentations and classes.
Oh.
He usually sits on my left shoulder. Probably about so tall. He's about that tall. So just knock your cards 3 times to clear them. And hold your cards to your heart and say a prayer. And then shuffle your cards and pick however many you want. I'll pick at least one. I'm gonna. Okay. Here we go. Splash shadow. I want to offer you to develop the magic of the Oracle cards and unlock your inner wisdom to enlighten your soul by joining Wisdom of the Oracle. It's a 4-week program starting in October, and we will discuss ways to prepare. We will talk about protection and cord cutting, enhance your communication with the divine and angels. We'll do meditations, card layout, practice sessions, community sharing, and there will be a private member portal. And it's $333. It's going to go to $475, and I will have a payment plan. It's also available. You can make payments and pay for it through PayPal. And I want to thank you for joining today.
Well, thank you, Sandy. It's always so much fun.
Thank you. And I will put the links in the chat.
Fabulous.
And I appreciate both of you for coming today. Whoops, just double one.
Well, thank you so much, Sandy. And
Yeah.
you have a great afternoon, and I will see you around. Probably another event. We'll check in. Take care, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Nice meeting you, Megan.
Nice to meet you.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions, Megan?
No, I just wanted to make sure I had that link open before I left. I got it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.